Hello and welcome back to another video. So we're out early today on a Saturday morning because the three are heading off to Mart. So my brother-in-law and his dad are just pulling in there now with the trailer, so I timed that well. They're going to take them for us, which is very good of them. They always bring them for us, in fairness. So yeah, we'll get them loaded up. I usually don't come down before they leave, just because I find it hard letting them go. But I said I'd come down now today and just load them up and get them out. So yeah, look, I think I've said in a previous video too, I don't mind seeing going. One was a bit of a pet, although she hasn't been much of a pet recently, so that probably makes it a bit easier for me, thankfully. But yeah, I'd never like to see them go, you know. But you know, I've given them a good life while they were here, and they'll go off to another farm now for a while. So look, we'll get this done now and we'll talk about the day then. Now that's the three gone off and the empty pen behind me, but yeah, the shed is looking fairly light now without them. I put out the cow and the calf as well, so they're happy outside now as well. Of course, as soon as I put them out, the sun went and there's a drop of rain there now as well. Typical. So it's not supposed to be much, so, but if it is, I'll just have to bring them back in later and that's fine. But yeah, so look, anyone following me on Instagram will have seen the cattle going already just from my stories. So I'll probably be about a week behind now by the time I upload this one. It's just struggling to find the time now to do the editing. You know, the days are longer, so I'm out on the farm more, which is great for the farm, but not so great for the YouTube. I tried to fit it in, but sure, look, we'll get there. So yeah, look, at the end of the video anyway, once they sell, we'll see what weights they were and all that. So I'll keep you posted for sure. But until then anyway, I'm going to keep myself busy. My dad was trying to get me to go to the Mart, but it's not easy to spend your whole day there. So first of all, it's 45 minutes away to get there. And then I'd be there hanging around for the sale, and then it'll be 45 minutes home, and I'm working again tomorrow. So I'd rather now get a few bits done here. I want to clean the slats there behind me while it's wet. I need to clean out the pen. I'm going to put on the muck spreader and spread some of that muck, just so that I can pike it straight into the spreader, which will be good. So, you know, it's hard to give up that time then to the Mart, because I'd only be trying to fit in doing things at another stage and pushing things out. And look, as I mentioned in a previous video, we're kind of pushing things out all along anyway because the weather was so bad. So now that it's been dry for a couple of days, I have the chance to get into that field and get spreading. So that's what I'm going to do today. So look, I'll bring you along for some of it. And I might go up as well and have a look at the silage fields and just see how they're going, because it'll be nearly 2 weeks now since I spread the protected urea. So I'd just like to see how it's doing, really, more than anything. So that's the day. I can't remember if I actually ended up showing the short stabilizing bar in my last video. I don't think I did, so I'm going to show you it now. Obviously nothing too exciting, but just something that has made my life so much easier, and I can't believe I haven't had it all along. And I can't believe my dad didn't even know they existed. That's what shocked me more than anything. I knew something that my dad didn't. That's it there now, so there's no having to try and fit it in down here with the pin. It just goes on there. All I do is loosen it or tighten it, pop it off, and yeah, back on then when the implement is on. So really handy. I can just push it from side to side and hook it on. So ideal, really. I'm just up here now having a look at the silage. There's growth there, alright, yeah, it's coming along. Absolutely nothing special. But look, it's only the bare 2 weeks since I put out the urea, but you can definitely see it's doing its job. And today we're at about 15-16 degrees, which is a massive change to yesterday. I think it was 9 or 10 degrees yesterday, so that should all get things moving, especially with the amount of moisture that should be in the ground at this stage. So it gives me hope. And look, we're not planning on cutting for another 6 weeks anyway, so we should be fine. I hope. There's a few patches there now that are definitely slower than others, so I don't know if it was me with the fertilizer, or is it just, you know, the soil isn't as good in those areas and it looks a little bit weedy in certain areas and a tiny bit mossy in other areas. But look, they're only small patches. But yeah, I'm beginning to see why my dad wants to start the reseeding up here rather than doing the background, even though I'd love to see the back of those rushes. But anyway, so yeah, nothing major to see up here. The only thing about the silage ground up here as well is it was all fed at the start of the year, so that also gives me hope, because I see so many videos of people with these fields full of luscious grass pretty much ready to cut, and I start worrying then. But I just have to remind myself this was grazed down to nothing before the slurry went out, and then the urea is only out 2 weeks, so I do need to give it a chance. And yeah, the stuff we get should be good. There shouldn't be a big white root on it or anything like that. I would hope it'll be good stuff by the time we get around to cutting it, so that makes me feel a little bit better about progress. We moved the cattle there when I came home from work, all going swimmingly, and I'll put in a small clip of when it was going well. But I quickly had to put away the camera because we lost half of them. So typical, the calf just isn't used to it, so the change in surface. So he was absolutely fine until he got to the gate, and then where it changed from the kind of pencil-y stuff to the tar on the road, he said no, not having it. So he turned back, so then the cow turned back, then the heifer turned back, and they all turned back, and they actually got past my dad, so it could have been worse. Now, it was dangerous anyway, but you wonder where I get it from. It's from him, he has no fear. But they got past him and they could have gone on further, but I somehow managed to run beside them and block them off. So we got the calf, the cow, the heifer and one of the younger lads back into the field, and then I drove the rest of them up. And in fairness, they were very good, because sometimes they'll insist on turning back. when they're not all there. But yeah, got them back, that was grand, and then went back down and got the rest of them. And in fairness, it wasn't too much work at all, and that's on the quiet road, the local road, so it's not too bad. It'd be another story now if we were trying to cross the main road, but they're all in there together now, along with the cow and the calf, the new one. So I left them alone there to have something to eat, and I'll go back down and check on them. And then I'm going to get spreading more muck again, so I'll probably just do the pen today and tackle the pile maybe every evening this week, because the weather's going to be really good, and I actually have 3 days off at the end of the week because I said I would take advantage of the fine weather. So I might do more then if I can get it done, and probably put out a bit more fertilizer in the place where the cattle just came out of. So that will be the plan for today and the week ahead. But yeah, a lot of people in my last video were saying, oh, just leave it rot down. And yeah, I would ordinarily, but it's just where it is. It just gives me a pain to look at it, so I can't. I just have to move it. And then, you know, if I leave it there, I'll be adding next year's to it to a certain extent, and it just all gets a bit messy then. So no, I'm going to get rid of it and just be done with it and get it out. And look, that ground needs everything it can get. A lot of people asked as well, am I liming the place? So the place where I spread the dung, we limed all of that last year during the summer. So that got the lime, and we're entering the liming scheme this year now. We just entered it the last day, so we'll lime pretty much everywhere else. Not everywhere, but pretty much everywhere else. I think we're getting 2 tons, is it? So yeah, we'll do the rest of it, because look, there's absolutely no harm in doing it anyway, so we might as well and try and get some value out of it. And yeah, it seems to be a good scheme, to be fair. So yeah, we'll be in that, so that should help things as well. And look, you gotta make these savings where you can. But right, I'm gonna get out of here and I'm gonna tell you how the cattle got on yesterday. Easy, 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 easy. Now I'm just here with the rest of them, so they've settled in. There was an awful fight between the heifer there and the Charlie cow when they come in here. Worse than I've seen the bullocks doing, actually. So they tore up the place a bit, of course they did, but no, not too bad. So I'll keep them in this section just for today, get them to feed it down well, and then I'll strip graze it after that. But yeah, so how we got on at the Mart. So the 3 went, so 2 heifers and a bullock. And the first up was the bullock, the Charlie bullock, and I was a bit worried and I was a bit disappointed, because he actually only came in at 545 kg, so he was fairly light. Now I think we put 550 on him. I can't remember from that video, but I think we put 550 on him. And by the way, in that video a lot of people thought I was talking in euro. I was not, because if I was, I would absolutely give up the game if I thought that's all I was going to get for them. But yeah, so he came in at 545, which was quite light, but it's gas. My dad said it that morning. He said, that's not a good animal. He just said, no, he's not 550, there's no way. So he was right, he wasn't. Now he would have lost a bit of condition, of course, on the way, but yeah, just didn't make the weight. He was always very narrow in the front and just never really filled out. His full brother is over here, actually, if he'll allow us to have a look at him. And we just think he's similar, but he is definitely a slightly better animal. there, that one. Come here to me, Norman. That's him there. So hopefully now when it's his turn, he'll work out a bit better. So he came in just under the €3 a kilo. So again, I really wanted the €3 a kilo, so I was disappointed, but look, my dad was happy. He said he called it. So the next one up then was the Limousin heifer, so the pet, and I really wanted her to go for breeding but didn't think it was going to happen, and it looks like she was actually bought for breeding. So we got massive money for her, which we weren't expecting, to be honest. Like, I thought she'd do well because she was a fine heifer, but she did extremely well, and she came in at 535 kg. So she was only 10 kg lighter than the bullock, which is good going because the cow she came out of wouldn't be as good a cow as what the bullock came out of. But yeah, she really did put on massive condition over the summer last year, which was great. She was small to start with, but once she got out to grass last year, she took off. So that was great to see, and she came in at 325 a kilo. So that was massive money that we didn't expect to get for her. And then the Charlie heifer was very light. She was 490, but we kind of expected it. She was a lot smaller than the other two, and she was well under the €3 kg. But look, that's how it goes, you know. But all in all, the three of them together delivered more than what was at the higher range of what we wanted. So that's the main thing. And yeah, who would have thought the Limousin heifer was the winner on the day, which is great. And it's nice to think now that she's going on for breeding as well, so she's not actually just spending the next few months finishing, which is great. So all in all, a good day at the Mart. I'll leave them alone, and I'm going to get muck spreading. So I have the spreader full from yesterday, so I'll get rid of that load and go again. For those that haven't seen it before, that's it. Now I'm just back down here where I always spread the muck, and I spread some there yesterday. But what I wanted to show before I start going today is why we do it. So I had an awful lot of negative Nigels now on TikTok when I put up a short clip of what I was doing, and don't you know now, the smart comments. But there is a reason why we do it. I'm trying to find a good example now because I got excited during the week and started kicking it all, so I've kind of ruined it. So I want to find proper mossy stuff. You're probably saying there's loads of moss around you, will you come on? Which there absolutely is, I won't disagree with you, but this is all very light here. Here, yeah. So kick this stuff off here now. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. So you can see there where I have just kicked it off. You can see the green shoots. Now, it's all still very depressing, don't get me wrong, but it just shows, look, there's more, that it does work. So look, it's not going to grow me loads of luscious grass, but I'm just trying to show people what farmyard manure does, and as well the silage that goes out, because look, it's all seeds inside and that. So it all helps with a bit of growth. And look, I think I said it in my first video anyway, like everywhere will be reseeded eventually. But if we can start to improve the soil and get things going ourselves before that happens, sure, all the better. So that's why I'm out here doing this. I got loads of great advice on my first muck spreading video. So with this now, what I'm doing is I've put the lighter stuff towards the arms at each side, and I'm not overfilling it on those ends, and I'm kind of packing it in the middle. Because a few people said just give the arms a chance to get going. So I'm going to see now if this makes a difference, because I only thought of it there when I did the last run, because it did take it a while to get properly firing it out. So I'm going to try that there now and see if that makes a difference. Like, I want to try and get as much into it as possible because it's small and I don't want to be making unnecessary trips. But I think if I just put the lighter stuff on each side, that should help it. So we'll see how it goes. Now, I do think actually leaving it a bit lighter at the sides works alright. Can you see there behind me? I'll give a pan shot at the end anyway, but it definitely comes out thicker earlier on, which is what I want. And you'll see there as well, oh, sorry about the wind, good heavy layer. So there won't be cattle in here for a good bit now because they fed it right down. So a good thick layer in here, and we'll see what it does. Yeah, that's it for me now. What did I do there today? 4 loads, so that's everything done from inside, and I took a bit of the bad silage that was there as well from the cows. So that's done. I'll show you what the spreader looks like now. So the only thing about putting the light stuff at the side is that's what you get. It's rightly wrapped around there, so I'm sure that will be a bit of a pain trying to get that off when it comes to cleaning it, but we'll see how we go. I've plenty more to get out before that anyway, and that's what's left in it. I kicked that loose stuff back in, but you'll see here it just doesn't quite get it out, and same here. But if I was finished with it now today, I'd just get the pike and push it into where the chains are, and it would actually get most of it out. So that's it. It's not as clean as that first day I got it, is it? Never to be clean again. I made this straw bed for the 2 little calves. Just thought it'd be nice overnight. And sure, look who's after taking it. He's just after getting up. He was fast asleep when I came in. Ah, Norman, we're having a grand sleep. Oh well, at least someone's getting use out of it. Now I've just finished feeding the cattle. You can see behind me, they're on their new concoction of silage and straw. We are really trying to stretch these bales as much as we can, and they're not great either, which is very frustrating, but the straw should help us out a bit, and they seem to be loving it as well, actually. So that's good. So yeah, 3 bales outside now after this one here, so we really are trying to get the most out of them. On the calf in the last video, so I had a lot of guesses. So a lot of people said Charlie and were very confident in their guess. I had a few limousines, and the first correct answer that I saw, I think, was from Damien Connolly, who guessed a Simmental. And it is a Simmental. Well, we'll wait till the tissue sample comes back to confirm, because we're not entirely sure, but it should be from Lynx, the Simmental. But yeah, it just brought no colour. There's a slight patch on her neck that is a little darker than the white. It's like just kind of a dirty brown, really. And I was thinking, is she just a bit dirty? But no, it seems to be the same patch all the time. So yeah, she's pretty much a pure white Simmental. So that's a first for us anyway. And yeah, nice to see it. But yeah, well done, Damien. There was another one said Simmental as well. I think it was Dan. But yeah, the majority of them said Charlie, and I would have said the same thing myself, to be honest. But yeah, that's her, and she's outside flying it. That's it for today. I'm done. Not too bad now. So I'm going to leave the pen. It's cleaned out. So I have the tractor parked in there because I've left the muck spreader on, because as I said, I'm going to just tip away at the muck spreading every evening after work and see what kind of dent I make in the pile out there. So that's it for today. Any suggestions on videos, do let me know. I'm conscious I don't want to be making repetitive videos, but right now I'm surrounded in muck and I need to get rid of the muck, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be spreading more fertilizer again, and I know you've seen that as well, so I don't want to be showing you the same thing over and over again. But this time of year it's just kind of like that. I'll throw in the odd calf here and there as well when they pop out. But yeah, if you'd like to see anything in particular, do let me know. I do know I need to do a farm tour, which I will probably get to soon enough because the weather is improving. I just didn't want to do it in the wet and dreary weather. So, but believe me, that's going to be a very short video. I'm not even joking. There's very little to see, but we'll do it anyway. And myself and my dad need to tackle a couple of jobs on the 135. Might video it, might not. We'll see how we go. Neither of us are very handy when it comes to machinery, but we'll try our best, and I might try and video that if I can, if it's not too awkward. But if you'd like to see anything else, do let me know. I'd be delighted to show you a few more bits that maybe I haven't thought of. But for now anyway, that's me done. Thanks a million for watching. If you liked it, give me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you.